morning, everyone. I hope your week is off to a great start. I know mine is, getting much accomplished. Uh, this morning, we're going to go to a strange place. We're going to go to First Chronicles, chapter number 4. And if you were to read chapters 1 through 4, you'd probably be kind of lulled to not paying attention kind of mode by the time you got to the end of chapter 4. And you might read right past this particular individual that for whatever God's purposes were, he made them stick out to us in a very specific way. His name is Jabez. And so I want to point him out to you. I want to read two verses to you because I think it's important for us to recognize that a life of loving the Lord and prayer and really seeking God's face about issues and what we should do and where we should go and really what we should participate in, what we should say. All of those things matter. And if we'll live life rightly, even if we're not, quote unquote, one of the major players, one of the headlined Christians of our day, God may use us in such a way that blesses people kind of behind the scenes. And I think that's who Jabez was, but he was actually such a devoted follower of Christ or follower of God at the time, that God rewarded him with being placed in the scripture for all of us to read about throughout time. And so notice in chapter number 4 of First Chronicles, verses 9 and 10, it says, "And Jabez was more honorable than his brethren, and his mother called his name Jabez, saying, Because I bear him with sorrow. And Jabez called on the God of Israel, saying, Oh, that thou wouldst bless me indeed, and enlarge my coasts, and that thine hand might be with me, and that thou wouldst keep me from evil, that it may not grieve me. And God granted him that which he requested." Talk about the most amazing prayer. It covers everything in life. And Jabez, for some reason, didn't fall in line with everyone that was chasing false gods and things like that. He called on the name of the Lord. And that phrase is reserved for people who have a genuine heart for God. Not people who show up to church every once in a while. Not people who claim to be a Christian but live some other way. Not people who say they honor the Lord and want the best that the Lord has to offer and then live by their own ways or for their own hobbies or whatever. Jabez is not in here because he prayed one prayer and God immediately jumped to and gave him his stuff. A lot of teachers today will tell you that if you'll just do this, and this, God has to bless you. That's just not true. God will bless those who are living in a certain way, kind of in a natural way. But this prayer right here is not a name it, claim it prayer. This is the prayer from a heart of a man who truly loved the Lord and believed that God was who he claimed to be and lived his life as if it were true. And so when you look through this, it is amazing to me that Jabez isn't someone more of note in the scripture. Why we don't have a certain segment of the scripture devoted to this guy who truly followed the Lord. All we have are these two verses. But these two verses say enough. For the average everyday follower of Christ, and I don't mean average meaning kind of middle of the road, not really a good follower, not really a bad follower. I'm talking about the devoted Christian who lives their whole life devoted to the Lord, that the Lord is the key component in every decision they make, but they never have a name for themselves. God wanted us to see that he doesn't miss it, that it's not escaping his notice, and he hasn't overlooked us or left us to the side. He is answering our prayers in the same way that he answers, quote unquote, the people of note. And so I want to encourage you today. You live for the Lord. You live your quiet, peaceable life with the Lord, sharing the truth of who he is, expressing to everyone around you how much you love the Lord, not just in a big set of words, but in the way you live your life and the way you live your life with him. And God will bless you. I didn't say that he would, this part about keeping you from evil, that is not keeping you from harm. That's keeping you from falling into sin. He's not saying that God, that no death would ever touch me, that I would never lose my job like others, that every single thing about my family would be perfect. He's saying that I wouldn't fall headlong into sin. And so I want to encourage you with this. You need to pray a prayer like this. And I challenge you to read chapters 1 through 4, and you tell me how strange it is that Jabez is noted like this for all of us to see. The entire scripture is important for us to be in. And if we haven't been in the Old Testament very much, might want to take a walk through the Old Testament with the remainder of this summer. You'll be surprised at what you'll find. I hope that this has been an encouragement to you to live for the Lord without faltering, and ask the Lord for things that you might think are too big to ask for. Jabez asked for everything that we should ask for, and God gave it to him because he lived a life that was truly devoted to him. I hope you have a blessed day.